Hey guys, it's Lady Renasaro here, and welcome to day 21 of our 30-day video game challenge. So with 9 days left, we're starting to get into basically the kind of questions that are like pretty like even more difficult than the first three. Well, kind of difficult. I don't know. It's hard. It's kind of hard to say at this point. So yeah. So we're at day 21 right now with 9 more days to go. So our challenge for today is a very challenging one, a game with the best story. Now, this it definitely took me a very long time to figure out what single game I was gonna pick that has the best story. Because just like I answered in the day before I chose my favorite genre is RPGs, which is a genre game that's very story orientated. So then following up that day to this day, how it's like, oh, what's your favorite? What is your game with the best story? And I'm like, oh my god, I've played through like so many great games with so many great stories. So I racked my brain. I even went combed through my games, my game library that I have, trying to figure out what would I consider the best story, one of the best stories. And I came across an old game. I have mentioned it in previous days for one of my challenges, but the challenge for today, specifically for the challenge for today, I feel like the game does meet the requirement, or at least for me it does, for best story. Now, again, there's 20 billion games out there with great stories, and this is just my personal opinion of a game with a great story, or a series of great stories, but this one primarily being my favorite of the series. And so, getting to my pick. So my pick is Fatal Frame 3. So Fatal Frame 3, out of Fatal Frame 1, 2, and 3 that I've played, I have not played 4 or 5. I have no idea if I will ever have the chance to play 4 and 5. Well, I hear that 5 is going to be here in the US sometime soon, but I don't know if 4 is ever gonna get over here. I hope so. I hope when 5 comes over, they're like, hey, you want a downloadable version of Fatal Frame 4? Here you go. But anyways, so as I was saying Fatal Frame 3. Now, Fatal Frame 3, kinda is the concluding chapter to the original trilogy, in my opinion. The original trilogy of Fatal Frame, which is Fatal Frame 1, 2, and 3. And it very much concluded the first 2 games as well. It included the stories of the characters that we seen in 1 and 2, and also added in our new character, our new protagonist, Rey, who's seen on the front cover, and we kind of see it's like the ending chapter. It's like the ending chapter to a trilogy story, with that being like 2, 1, 3 somehow. But anyway, so that's kind of why I picked this one as the best story, because it not only creates its own new story, but it also incorporates the other two games as well, as again with the characters. And also great example, in this game you're trapped in I explained this in my antagonist discussion, which I think was day 18. I think day 18 was the antagonist one. But basically you're trapped in your characters are trapped in this mansion, and you're in the game. You don't just play as one character as you've done in the previous games. You play as three different characters trapped in this mansion, and the other two characters you play as, well, one of them you've seen before in the previous Fatal Frame games. The other one is related to one of the characters in the previous games, and when they go through this, and then when they go through this dream manor, the dream manor then changes to what they know. So it's kind of like you revisit Fatal Frames, the areas of Fatal Frames 1 and 2. I feel like I'm kind of spoiling this, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of expected. Especially when you meet if you played the first two games and then play this one, and then you see the characters and you're like, oh, you're related to her. It's like, oh, you're related to her. Oh my god, you're her from the game. From this game. Oh god, we're in a dream mansion where the subconscious kind of is formed and created. So I guess it's kind of I don't know. I hope I'm not spoiling too much, but that is my big reason why I chose Fatal Frame 3, is because it tied all the two games together and made them extremely relevant to the story. So, in all, I feel as though Fatal Frame 3 is my favorite out of the first three. Again, I don't know if I want to count 4 or 5, because I don't know I don't know if 4 or 5, if any of the stories are connected to these three. I kind of hope not. I'm kind like, in my mind, I just see like, okay, 1, 2, and 3, you're your own saga, and then 4 and 5 is just another saga, with kind of very similar situations that happen. They find a magical camera with ghosts and such. Fatal Frame. So, anyways, so that is my pick for best story. What is the one game what is the one game that you believe is the best story, and why? Comment below in the video, as we have been doing, and I hope you guys have been enjoying these challenges. And I have been enjoying reading all of your responses, and I love it. So, I love it. So now I bid you adieu, and I'll see you guys in day 22. I'm so lame.